Hello and welcome to Dream It, Dare It, Do It, Live the Life You Want. This is a podcast where we basically look at how to live the life we want and what's stopping us from living the life we want. And I'm Jasmine. If you like this conversation, please make sure that you press the likes or the give us thumbs ups or subscribe or do, everything you need to do to make me feel good. And today I have my friend JJ Hill with me. Hi, JJ.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good, right, Bote?
Yes.
We're
Yes, Bote.
good. The dog starts coming, like when as soon as I record, I just take the mic down from the top, and she's like, "Oh, it's time to
It's
record.
time.
Let's do it. Let's do it."
So
So today, JJ, wait, before I go into what I want to talk about, why don't you let the people listening in? I mean, we've talked before, we've done a Let's Chat about before.
yep.
So, but let them know what you do and where you're from.
Yeah. So I am JJ. I live in Chicago, Illinois, and I have been teaching Spanish for many years. I'm a high school Spanish teacher, and I'm also an emerging coach. And I'm really fascinated in what makes people tick, what inspires people, what makes people sort of behave the way they do what they do, and seeing sort of a deeper experience of why we do what we do. And I've been really interested in that in the last, I don't know, number of years. And then Jasmine and I know each other because we were colleagues in Super Coach last year.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I love to travel and I love languages.
Oh, yeah. She, like, when she speaks Spanish, you're like, Wait, what?" That's kind of like when I speak French, people go, "Wait,
Yes.
what?"
Well, how'd that happen?
Today, guys, what I want to talk about with JJ is looking good. It occurred to me, I was kind of like in bed and I just woke up and I was like, I'd had conversations with many people prior, the day prior, and we like what occurred to me is there was a lot of looking good. Like I want to look good. So I'm doing such and such a thing because I want to look good,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm afraid to look bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like, it wasn't like in a very conscious way. It wasn't like, oh, okay, I'm going out, let me go do my hair. It wasn't that kind of looking good.
Yep.
It was more of kind of thing, what am I going to say? If I say this, they're going to think that,
Yep.
right? And then it's going to make me feel bad and or look bad.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's funny because something happened to me this week, um, in that respect. And I know that here I'm going to just explain
Mm-hmm.
what happened. I'm going to just share what happened.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with somebody about somebody else. So
Mm-hmm.
essentially, it was I was gossiping,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Um, and just telling you that I was gossiping makes
Yeah.
me feel like I can feel the
Uh,
feelings of shame showing up. Like I'm not
mm-hmm.
supposed to gossip.
Mm-hmm.
This is really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I'm looking bad because of that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that respect, well, like when I talked about the other person, I wasn't coming from a bad space. I wasn't coming from a vindictive or let me be mean, or it just kind of happened. It was kind of like in a conversation, and it happened, and after it happened I had the thought, oh, what have I done, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I thought to myself, I'm going to shut up. Okay, just like, you know, this is no big deal, Jazz, relax, right? But a
Yeah.
couple days later, I received a text from this person telling me, why'd you talk about me?
Oh,
Right.
oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, now I was caught. Now I was really looking bad.
Crap. Okay.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
I could see how, and I'm gonna just explain, what's showing up for me. Like there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of shame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to see this person. Now
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to see her. And I'm like, where can I hide? If I go there, is she gonna be there? Like there's all these thoughts that are showing up.
Mm-hmm.
What's what I'm seeing is that I'm not um, forgiving myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being very nice with myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I could see that it's just a natural way to react. If I'm not being nice with myself, it's a
Mm-hmm.
natural way to react, to be shameful. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling myself you're so bad, of course I'm
Right.
going to be ashamed. Like it's just a natural progression. And it's like the domino effect. It was kind of like boom, 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 boom. It just
Mm-hmm.
occurred.
Yeah.
It occurs to that. And I'm happy that I have been in this conversation and I'm
Yeah.
able to go, okay, well, that's not the truth. I mean, it's not, it's the truth because I think it, but I don't have to restrict myself
Mm-hmm.
because of what I'm thinking,
Exactly. Right.
right?
Yeah.
And although I'm telling myself this, like I can still feel it in my body,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm 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 sure this person is nicer with me than I am with myself right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right. So it just occurred to me that there are so many places that shows up in our lives
Mm-hmm.
where we do things based on, I don't want to look bad,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Or based on, I want to look good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So what do you see?
Yeah. I think that's such a big one for humans. And I think the whole looking good and it can be so sneaky. Like we can think that, no, I'm fine. I don't care what I look or sound like.
Yeah.
But I think it's sneaky because I think we do on different levels. And I think that there's like certain things that we don't care about, like you were saying, like, I don't care what I look like and blah, blah, blah. But then there's like deeper things that we really do care about what we look and sound like, right? And I would say, yeah, me too. Me too. And it seems to be all the personal. Like if what are we, I guess, like, and I don't know the answer to this, it's just like, I'm curious. Like, what's going to happen if we look bad?
Yeah.
Like what's going to happen, and will we look bad? And to your point, is it more about us judging ourselves?
Yeah.
And where does that come from? Because, oh yeah, I mean, me too. When we first started talking about this, when you were saying looking bad, I feel like there's so many different ways that can show up.
Yeah.
It can show up in the physical, like I want to make, like, I said, I took a shower this morning because I knew I was being interviewed. And it's like, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's fine. And so it's like the physical, which I can relate to. And it's kind of like, but it's interesting though, because sometimes I care more than others. So what's that about? Sometimes I don't care. I'm going to throw on whatever and go. And then sometimes I really care. So you've got like this sort of physical, and then you've got, like, to your point about what will people think of me if I do or say this? And I think that sort of what has exasperated that sort of image and being conscious of image is like social media.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I feel like we look all around us and people post what the image, I think, an image of what they want others to see of themselves, period, which is like obviously not telling the full story, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so for me, I mean, I totally resonate with what you say. And like, and then I really thought what you said was interesting, that you can tell yourself like, it's not a big deal. I should be nicer to myself or whatever you were saying, but your body still feels it.
Yeah.
I think that's fascinating, right?
Yeah. I think there's this thing like, so here's my understanding of thoughts, right? So when you have a thought, the more powerful the thought, the more you feel it in your body,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the thought actually manifested itself as a feeling in your body, then if you could just feel it, like let yourself feel it, it actually will pass, because
Mm-hmm.
it's an energy. So the thought turns into your body. Well, we then kind of qualify it as an emotion, you
Mm-hmm.
know, a feeling,
Mm-hmm.
an emotion that you felt.
Yeah.
And emotions are energy in motion,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we just let it go through us,
Yeah.
it will dissipate.
Mm-hmm.
It's that when we add a meaning to it, when
Yes.
we make it mean something, like, well, I'm feeling this now, I'm really bad. Now I'm not like that. That qualification is like, I kind of hear it. I hear that's really bad. And I think that that's kind of like at my core. I just know, gossiping is not useful. I mean, it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work with my being, who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like gossiping.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, I was human and I wasn't thinking, or I
Yep.
was caught up in my thought and it happened.
Yep.
Okay, so guess what? I'm human,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so to my core, I kind of know that I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think that it's a label of bad, right or wrong. I think it's more of, I don't want to do that. It's
Mm-hmm.
not useful. What I want to do is be of use, be useful.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
definitely don't want to hurt people. If
Right.
if anything, I want to lift them up and
Mm-hmm.
inspire them and show them that they can have, a fantastic life
Yes.
just by looking within and seeing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that I'm still feeling it in my body is probably, it was so powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been resisting it. Like I've been like, being bad is a big thing for me. Like I can't be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But there's being bad according to me. And
Yeah.
then there's being bad according to what someone else is going to make up.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can do something about, I don't want to do that. That I don't want to do. I can't do anything if you think I'm bad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's nothing I can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
But that feeling that I am bad, I've
Right.
kept that in my body. I've resisted that and I've withheld it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just like, it's going to take time to just go through, because
Yeah.
it's been hiding in many places.
Right. Right.
Right. And for many years,
Yeah.
because
Right.
I didn't see it that way. It was just like, I am bad. When this
Mm-hmm.
happens, I am bad. Let me hide it. And let me
Mm-hmm.
store it somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And how human is that, right? How totally human is that? Well, and I also, what I love that you're saying is like, you're becoming more and more aware of emotion. I love what you said, energy and motion, and like not being afraid of the content around it, knowing you're human, and then knowing that feeling it is okay, like to not be afraid of those emotions that don't feel good all the time. But then that I love that things are in motion and fluid, and like knowing that at some point it's going to go and it'll come back and it'll go. But like having that sort of dance with emotions to me is incredibly freeing, because if you're okay with like this range of emotion that we feel, I mean, smoother sailing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, and also like to your point too, it's like you know that you don't, gossip doesn't, it's not your thing.
Yeah.
And but that you know, you talked badly about somebody, you know, we're human.
Yeah.
You can always apologize. You can always whatever, you know. And yeah, I love because it's so interesting. And I think like as humans, and I know I do, when we start to feel bad and we start to go, I'm a bad girl or I'm bad or whatever, and then it can get like, you try to figure out why,
Oh yeah. And then you
and
get
then it's
stuck in the loop. Then
just,
you get stuck in the psychological loop of
oof,
why. And you know, that's just all made up. I mean,
yeah,
so the why is all made up, and then you can make up so much, you know,
yes,
that
yes,
you get, yeah, down the rabbit hole.
yeah.
And there you go, getting lost inside all of that. And then, I mean, it just perpetuates the feeling bad.
Oh, so awful. It's such a horrible, yeah. And it's so innocent too, you know, like I see it in myself, I see it in other people, where you just desperately want to find relief or answers, but sort of heading in the wrong direction,
Yeah.
right? And it's innocent. Like we just go try to use the intellect to figure out why, but innocently we don't know that it's simpler than that. We can have a choice, that we can know what its content, relax into it, kind of look in a different direction.
Yeah. You know, like this was like a very specific example, but in this one, I don't know, like it feels like it's an obvious one. It feels like you know, it feels like, of course, if you don't think it's good, you're gonna feel bad. But then there are these things that we do. Like I was thinking of when I was taking care of mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when as you know, my mom had dementia, and I was her caregiver for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was doing it, it really had nothing to do with looking good, right? It had nothing. I was literally coming from a space of love,
Mm-hmm.
but I could see that before she got sick, you know, there were things that I was doing because I needed to be a good daughter, because that's how I thought everybody out there, I had made up that people out there thought a daughter should be in such and such a way. And then I
Yeah.
was doing it that way.
Yeah.
And that was another way of, you know, looking good.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't an intentional. Again, it wasn't let me put some makeup, let me put a nice
Right.
shirt, let me look good. It was just like I thought that according to, you know, other people, if I did such and such a thing, I would look good. And I had
Mm-hmm.
made it up, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know I'd made it up.
Yeah.
So I was stuck inside this train of thought. I was stuck there and I had no freedom,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
in those moments. And when we have no freedom, I think we tend to get angry.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Yeah.
natural thing to get
Yeah.
angry,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that I want anybody to think about.
Mm.
Where are those things that you're doing because you want to look good or you're afraid to look bad?
Yeah.
And really look, is it the truth?
Right.
Is it made up?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're wondering, how do I know if it's made up? Here's a clue. If anybody else in the world can be in the same situation as you and thinks differently, it's made up.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
And once you see that it's made up, that gives you the freedom to say, do I still want to do it or not?
Yep.
Can I adjust that made up?
Mm.
You know, can I make something else up
Mm.
that might also work?
Mm-hmm.
The idea is for you to come from a space of freedom,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting because, like, as long as we, and I think this is so human and so innocent, but as long as we're looking for external validation, then we're going to run into problems. And by problems, I just mean we might get validation, which feels good. Of course it feels good. But then we're gonna find something else that we need validation for. So like the best sort of validation has to come from yourself. It has to come from inside. It has to come from you, without a doubt, knowing yourself and knowing that beyond all of this conditioned thinking, which we don't even realize that we have so much conditioned made up thinking, that beyond all of that is like you're whole. And seeing that will allow us to forgive ourselves for so much stuff that we have innocently made up and limited ourselves to act, how to act and how not to act, if that makes sense. And yeah, and sort of tuning in rather than looking out for like seeking answers, validation, security, truth, because all of that, literally, even though this sounds like a cliche, it's so true. It comes from within. Well, how does it come from within? It comes from within when we're in those moments of quiet, when we realize something, when it goes, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, it's been so helpful just knowing that most of the thoughts that go through my mind, most of that content is made up. It's pretty much BS. And it's not something that I have to fix or change or control. It's just a knowing that, like, a lot of this, it's fake news, a lot of fake news going on.
Yeah. You know, what is coming to me right now is that, you know, when I was confronted with this person that told me, why'd you talk about me?
Mm.
I had this urge, you know, because I knew at that point that in my eyes, I was presently looking bad, maybe in her eyes too.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew in my eyes, I was looking bad. And I had this urge to deny,
Mm.
you know, or this urge to explain, or this urge to manipulate and make
Mm-hmm.
it, you know, look like it wasn't that bad, or, you know, like I was
Yeah.
I had this urge. And really, in the end, all I said is like, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously wasn't thinking, I don't know what else to tell you, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really coming from a space of, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm seeing, like, this is something that I've seen for a while, right? Is like when you own something, when
Mm-hmm.
that thing is yours, when you actually look honestly and you can say, yeah, I did that, then you can do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Because
Right.
it's yours to do, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
if it's like not your fault, or
Mm-hmm.
it's because you did that I did that, or it's because
Mm-hmm.
he did that then there's nothing that you can do. So it's kind of like there's no resolution
Yeah.
to it, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say, you know, own it,
Mm-hmm.
change it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which brings me to I think I've told you that Rob Cook is
Mhm.
doing segments with me. Now,
Cool.
one of the things that I saw out of season one is that I want to live the life I want. I
Mhm.
actually am living the life I want,
Mhm.
and that I'm seeing more and more that if I want to continue to live the life I want, I need a body.
Mhm. Check.
So I've been doing these segments, which are
Yeah.
called Move the Way You Want and Eat the Way You Want.
Cool.
And Rob and I had a very honest talk
Mhm. Mhm.
the other day. And, I didn't want to do
Mhm.
I didn't want to do it live because I was going to look bad, but
Yeah.
we flipped a coin. So I'm going to have you listen to the segment, and
Okay.
then you can tell me what you hear, and then you
Okay.
can see where my mind has gone.
Yeah.
Well, hello everybody. This is the segment Move the Way You Want, but just move, babies. And the reason both Rob and I are laughing is because we were talking off camera, and I was I was I was gonna ask him a question, and I was just caught up in my thinking, and I was like, oh man, maybe we should not do this live, or maybe we shouldn't do this live. And we flipped a coin. Well, we didn't have a coin. Google had the coin, and he flipped it, and basically here we are live,
Here we are
uh,
live.
recording my most embarrassing moments. Uh,
The
so
season, well, the season isn't about your embarrassing moments, but it's about you looking for things. So I
exactly.
like this. I'm glad we are here.
Yeah, it's about looking. So obviously the segment is, about moving, just moving. And so Rob and I have been working together for a little while, and we've been talking about, you know, how I'm caught up in my shit thinking about moving and eating. And so before we started this podcast, I was like, I can't be freaking talking about this because I'm not doing shit. Right. So that's what kind of showed up for me. I was kind of like, oh my God, how dare I create a podcast talking about movement when I'm not even moving? And then I kind of like, and as I'm thinking it, I proceeded to say yes. And then I walked yesterday, and I've been getting up, and I've been moving, lifting my legs up, in the middle of watching TV. And I've been doing my posture exercises for my bump in the back here that I, you know, thought I was stuck with for the forever. Um, and now I'm seeing something different, which is really cool, because I just thought, oh man, now I have a bump in the back of my head and I look stupid and I have to hide it. Let's have long hair and hide that bump. But now I'm seeing that no, it's actually possible to get rid of it by doing some
Absolutely.
exercise. So like I could see that I'm mixed up in it all. I'm mixed up in I shouldn't be, no, I should be doing more, right?
Yeah.
There's like, it's a thought that's creating how I'm moving,
Yeah.
basically. And I have this thing that as soon as there's a should involved, I kind of like, oh yeah, make me.
Hmm.
Like it's just a bad habit, unfortunately. Sometimes it's a good habit,
Yeah.
like when it came to computers, somebody told me, no, you can't do that. I'd be like, we'll see.
Yeah. I can see that in your personality. I can see that. But it's a very common place, because it's really just caught up in the storm of, similar to what we were talking about on previous segments, about what we think fitness and movement really is. So no, you may not have done the prescribed exercises we did in a training workout. Got it. But I was there to guide you through those so you wouldn't hurt yourself anyway. So if you chose not to do those, there wouldn't be a bad thing, considering though the going for the walk and doing the flutter kicks on the couch and the things that you felt. Then it's a win. It's not that it has to be those exercises. It's just you have to move more. That's it. It's no move more than you moved yesterday. Not be stagnant. So, and it's move how you like. Maybe you don't like some of the exercises we did. Maybe you did them because I was just saying, come on, Jazz, you can do it. Yeah. But find what you like. Find what fits and just move. Yeah. Like the get ups, the get downs, walking the dogs, all of that counts. And when we see that it counts, we do more of that. And doing more of that essentially gets us to where we want to be, moving more often. It's kind of like most people, you ever had that feeling or that thought sometimes, well, it ain't gonna be that much anyway, so I might as well not bother with it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, every time you move, it counts. Every time. So it's never too little. Every time you move, it counts. Whether that's walking to the refrigerator, whether that's walking to take the trash out, everything you do counts. It challenges the system. It gives you feedback on if the system is doing, operating efficiently and effectively. It's telling you what quality of life you're probably operating in. It's doing, all of it matters if we, listen to it. So I don't think that's a bad thing that there's certain exercises I don't do every day, that I hate. There's certain exercises I have to set on my calendar to do or they won't be done. I get that. But no, it's about movement though. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have different exercises that we could do. Like, I get the squats. I'm fine with the squats. I could actually add that, I just get up and I lift my legs. Well, I could actually just get up and do squats. I could do that. But it's like when I get caught up in the thinking of it all, like, who the hell are you to do this? And yeah. Why are you talking about this live on a podcast that people can listen to?
How high is your camera? Stand up on your camera right now. Tilt that camera up so I can see your face. Can you tilt your camera up? Is there a way to tilt it up? Oh, so you have a tilted desk.
Well, I don't have a tilt desk, but it's my laptop.
Oh, okay, cool. So walk up a little bit. Right there. You're perfectly in frame. Doing a podcast like that, standing up. Totally different. All the movement counts. You look like, no, I don't like that. I don't want that. But you get my point. You get my point of how easy it is to just move. And then just lift your knees up right there while we're talking. Look at that. You never expected to do that. We're just having a conversation. Or you're dancing when you get Georgia online or somebody and you're playing and you're joking and you're having a glass of wine and you're dancing like that. That's movement.
Yeah, see, I like better doing this than doing.
Exactly. But imagine getting 2 or 3 of your girlfriends on a Zoom call like this and just playing some music, drinking your wine or whatever you want to do, laughing and joking, but dancing, moving, just going to the beat, however you want to do it, just because y'all together for an hour. You're going to sweat. You're gonna, that will change. You look at you think about it now. Yeah.
Okay, guys, who's up with me? Who's coming on? Okay, I'm gonna start this on Friday. We're gonna do stand-up, dance party. Let's just chat.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. Well, now it's gonna be too far, right? Okay. Well, I get that. Just have to get out of your head, right? Because staying in there is just gonna demoralize me.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I wanted to talk to you before we recorded.
I swear, man, I love flipping coins. Like if it, because it's no weight, the coin doesn't know.
Yeah.
And neither do I, honestly.
Yeah.
Neither do I. So it's kind of like pick the path and go. And then what happens, happens.
Okay. So guys, next episode, we will flip a coin and Rob will choose what we're talking about.
I like that. That's pretty dope.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right.
Let's do some more of these things. Hope it made a difference for somebody out there listening.
I know.
Take
Move
care.
how you want.
I love it. Love it. There's so many things that are so good about that. So many things. Like, first of all, your vulnerability, your willingness to just be in the moment, play, go someplace that's like feels scary. Like, yay, that's so cool. And then I love the playfulness between the two of you. And I love that he was like, stand up. And then you were like dancing. Like, that's so light and sweet and fun. Like, I was dancing over here in my chair.
Yeah.
And I love the simplicity when he's like, just move how you want. It's like, there's freedom in that. And I love that you were saying that when we get into those shoulds and we start to make up a bunch of stories and that can paralyze us, but like literally move how you want opens up a whole new, like you've got choice, you've got agency, you're in control. Just move. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it really and it reaches, it comes back to what we were already discussing, which was, sometimes we kind of like make up, oh well, this is not enough, so I'm just not going to do it, right? So we do it everywhere, like it's kind of like the same thing. Well, I could have said something like, well, I'm a human and humans gossip and I'll just gossip, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then do it all the time and then feel like crap. And, like it's me that feels like crap. Like maybe you wouldn't mind. Like I know I have a girlfriend that tells me, Jasmine, you have to gossip. Like she loves it. Like she's a gossiper. But I think that she gossips about, the stars and actors and stuff like that. But it's the same thing. It's still, not right. In my opinion. In my opinion, it's not right. It's just like, it doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, but like I could have, and I have at one point in my life, thought, well, even if my soul, my true self thinks this, well, my thoughts do something else. So I might as well just go, whatever, do whatever I want. But it's changed now. Like I don't see it the same way. I really look at what it is that I truly want to do. And if I diverge from that, well, forgive myself because I'm a human,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, what's that Shakespeare quote? To err is, no, to be human is to err is to be human, or something like that. And again, it's not me trying to be flippant about, quote, bad behavior or hurtful behavior. It's just that I feel like where that's coming from is insecure feelings in the moment. And then we behave in all sorts of ways because of taking our insecure feelings and thoughts seriously. And then we behave. So again, I'm not trying to sort of say, oh, it's all okay, and gossip or hurt people. No. I mean, clearly, I think that we all know in our core that doesn't feel good for us, for other people. However, there's an innocence in that where, as humans, we make mistakes, we F up, we hurt people, but we also can apologize, can learn from our mistakes. So I feel like the part about that being human is like, that's how we grow too. Like how boring would our lives be if we didn't have challenges or obstacles or make mistakes that we can learn from?
Yeah. And I think that I had to gossip in order to see that it didn't work with me.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know, like, because I saw it, you know, very clearly, you know, at one point where I have a girlfriend who actually says gossip kills. And
Mm.
what she means by that is that it kills the essence of the other person, because what it does is, like, if I gossip about somebody else and I tell you something bad about them, well, you're going to make up something about that other person without, just based on what I said.
Mhm.
But you're really not going to know this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So it can lead to really a whole bunch of crap when
Yeah.
it's not the truth,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that I learned, you know, there was times where first of all, I had, like you said, insecure thinking,
Mhm.
and I thought, well, I can't be like that because I made up that being like that is whatever.
Mhm.
Kind of like when we started working on this, you know, looking inside, when I started to look at what am I doing right now? Well, like,
Mhm.
why is it that I'm feeling bad
Mhm.
right now?
Mhm.
Like, not why my dad said or my mom said or my friend said, why do I feel bad? Like,
Mhm.
what is it that I'm making up here that's
Yeah.
making me feel the way that I feel? And then I could start seeing for myself, and then being clear that, you know what, there are things that, no.
Mhm. Well,
doesn't-
how cool is that? That, you know, like again, that sort of awareness, it pops in. It pops in. You see more, you see differently, and then from that space, you make decisions. Gossip's not for me. If
Yeah.
you sort of do it, okay, it happened. But like to your point, you said, like, at your core, you know, that's just not something that you want to choose to sort of do much of, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it does create, it's like so much energy that literally is being generated and spent on talking about other people, when it's like, I think what feels really good to people is to dream and imagine. To your point, to your podcast point, is to think dream it, think it, do it.
Dream it, dare it, do it. Yeah.
Sorry, yes. That, like, even energetically feels, it's like, ooh, I want to do that. I want to go in that direction. It feels good. It feels like, what can I create? How can I use my imagination in a really interesting way that makes me feel alive?
Yeah. That's why it says live the life you want. Like,
Yeah.
but in order to do that, you got to look inside and see,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, what is it that I want? Is it
Yeah.
that I want this because social media says it's good? Now,
Mhm.
I mean, I hope a lot of people don't do that. Please don't do that, people. Or is it because, you know, your mother told you that you should, or society, you know, it's well seen in society, or, you know, it's what this bunch of people does? No, what do you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you want? So look within
Yeah.
is the first place to look.
Mm. Yeah.
JJ, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was so fun, Jasmine. I loved it. It was so much fun to talk with you as always, and I loved your segment. That was terrific.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Before we leave, let me ask you, I do this little nuggets. Do you have nugget of wisdom for the people listening? Is there any nuggets coming to you?
Nuggets of wisdom. I would say the sort of what popped into my mind is, don't believe everything you think. Ignore it as much as possible. Go with something that, when you get that quiet spark that's powerful but maybe quiet, of an idea that is pulling you in a certain direction, even if you don't know exactly what it's going to look like, follow that. Be curious about it. See where that goes.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank
My
you.
nugget of wisdom is dream it, dare it, do it, live the life you want. Take care, everybody. Bye.